Dear friends of CommunicationMask.org. My name is Rainer and I'm going to talk about our latest mask development. The purpose of Communication Mask is to offer people a way to communicate among friends and among business partners without getting infected. Obviously, we have different types of masks. This is a medical mask. Medical masks are great when you go to a hospital, when prevention is utmost importance. This is a so-called everyday mask. Everyday masks are also good when you go shopping, for example. But when you go shopping, you don't normally talk much. You don't need to communicate. It shows that most infections nowadays happen when people actually are interacting, when we're speaking with each other. And normally when people meet, they take away the mask because we want to see each other, we want to hear each other, or the mask over time becomes uncomfortable. And this is when infections happen. That's why we at Communication Mask are developing different masks. We are developing the concept. Our concept is open source. This means that we are not putting any patents or copyright on it. Everyone can follow the concept of a communication mask and develop your own models. And I am going to show you some of the models which we have developed. For example, this mask, this uses a textile material, which is very similar to what you have in veils, like wedding gowns, or things which are used on window curtains. So here also very nice to carry. Also, while we are speaking, the mask holds nicely its position, because often you can see that people, when we speak wearing a mask, the mask actually moves because of the jaw movement, and so we have to constantly readjust the mask. So this model is quite good, very good to breathe. In terms of visibility, it's not as good as we expected it when we developed it. It turns out that this black color, however, even though it's quite transparent, but when you come closer, it turns out the light actually has to travel twice. So the light has to first reach my skin, and then the light has to come back. And so basically the filter effect of a mask is twice, so it's getting quite dark. So instead we have a different model, which is very similar, which uses more transparent material. And there you can actually see my face much better. So the mask design is a pretty standard one, and also very easy to talk with other people, to hear, good comfort, and also you're not sweating under the mask, which is a type of function also of a hole size. Here 200 micrometers hole size, which means that it offers protection against droplets bigger than 200 micrometers. And these are the droplets, the parts of the spit, which are traveling so far that we can infect other people. Now, besides these types of material, and we experimented with different forms about it, we also worked on this type of material, which is a plastic foil which has micro holes. So it actually is a breathable material. Here we have also quite unique design. We have one string, and as this material is extremely light, the string doesn't have to pull very strongly. So it's a very light pull, because a lot of people, they actually complain when they are wearing masks too long that they have quite some strain on the skin. This type of mask, however, still is a design model. So we have relatively few small holes. So I'm actually breathing through the plastic material. However, I can't breathe too strongly here. So there is still some room for improvement. Also in terms of the shape, We also worked with different types of shape, which is not as pointy, which looks for some people a little bit funny. There are already some other designs available commercially, and I will show you two different ones. This type of design is not a mask actually, it's more a face shield, and there are different models, mostly from Chinese manufacturers. And let's test how a face shield works. So it's not a typical mask, but it still protects you from droplets. When we are testing the masks, we are wearing our own masks as well as masks which we find somewhere in the market for quite some time, for let's say 1 hour when we speak with friends, to see how comfortable it is. Here, this design I think can still be improved because this type of white supporting structure is unnecessarily visible. So I'm sure there would be different color, not so shiny colors would make it look a little bit nicer. I assume that acoustically it's not a big difference for you if I'm wearing this mask or if I don't wear a mask. However, for me as a wearer, actually this plexiglass reflects the sound directly to my ears. So I hear myself about twice as loud as I used to hear myself. So it's a little bit disturbing. Also, since this mask is joined to the jaw, it moves when I'm speaking, and that's also a little bit distracting. Also, quite often it actually hits my nose while speaking, so I would not like to wear it for an hour or two a day. Yeah, and now I show you something also quite interesting, which is a commercial design. So this design, commercially available, you might think this is already a communication mask. So what we are developing here, so let's try it out. So this is coming from a manufacturer in China. So this is actually not a breathable material. This is just a solid plastic foil. And so basically I'm breathing through the holes on the side of a mask, because this mask itself has closed material. So unfortunately the material is quite thick, so it actually affects the acoustics. And since it's not a breathable material, you actually can see that some water in the breathing air is condensing here. And also when people are wearing glasses, it's not the best solution. And also I'm already starting to sweat a little bit. So when I compare all the different masks, my favorite is still that model here. It's actually hard to find it again because it's so small. Here we actually have welded the plastic welding, and we use this type of shape, which is perfectly adapted to the nose. Also, in terms of suspension, it basically consists just of 2 holes on each side, where we put a little rubber file, which is commercially available here. So this is a type of rubbery material there, and that's it. So very, very simple but very effective design. So I'm looking forward to get your suggestions about communication masks. We need help in terms of great designs, of great material. Maybe your background is also in material science, or you have an experience in virology. You have ways to measure the efficiency of the masks. So please help us, support us via CommunicationMask.org.